All right, gang, welcome back. We're in the shop today, and we're on the Mustang. So we have all of our fuel tech system components. We went with the FT600. We went with the a few components from them, their O2 sensor conditioner, I think the FT Spark 8. I'll have to look at the boxes again, but we've got all our components for that. And we have a friend coming in from out of town to help us get going with the wiring on that. So we have to get this 3-valve 4.6 liter out of here and the Coyote in place. So today we're gonna basically get the motor and transmission out and get going on that so that we can get the Coyote going and back in. We did buy a Team Z K-member and front end kit for the car as well to try and make it easier, and we want to go ahead and upgrade as we're working on things. We did the chromoly tubular K-member, substantially better than the stock stuff, and they basically did the Cobra R program. So we're going to get to it. I'm going to start working on getting the exhaust loose and off, the drive shaft out, a few other things. We have some friends that are going to hopefully come by and help us kind of manipulate and get things out. So let's get to it. All right, guys, we had some friends stop by. My friends Santo and Jan, and they wanted to check out some of the builds here. They're local friends, and they want to tell you guys to make sure you go to www.torquepp.com and check out the merch. And then they should do what, Santo?
Yes, definitely like and subscribe.
Right.
It's awesome.
All right, guys. So we're going to spend some time with these guys, and then we'll get back to our build, but make sure you guys go check it out. All right, guys. We're going to get to it with getting this exhaust down. We want to get this drive shaft out and get all that freed up so that we can drop this motor and transmission out. If you hear background noise, I apologize. I do have neighbors, like I've said in previous videos. I don't want to interrupt them. Hopefully the music's not coming through too much. They're doing their thing. We're doing our thing. We want to be good neighbors, so bear with us if that's in the background. That is not our music that's playing, so hopefully YouTube doesn't flag us for copyrighted music. We're going to dig in. We're going to start getting this exhaust and drive shaft down. Apparently a bunch of water in the exhaust here. I'm not really sure how I got in there. I see it dripping out. But I did also want to call out that we're not reusing this exhaust. We're turboing this car. So me cutting this and doing this isn't hurt anything. I'm going to recycle it and it'll be done for. Alright, gang. Got the back half of the exhaust out. We got a little bit in the front to do by the converters. We're going to work on this drive shaft here next, and then we're going to drain some fluids. So, we're getting there. It's a slow process. It'd probably help if I had a torch, some other shop tools. In time, that'll come. But right now, this is what we've got. So, alright guys, so we've got the exhaust totally out of our way. You can see we've got the drive shaft out. Our next step, we're going to get this transmission crossover loose, and then we will, we're not going to take it all the way out right yet. We're just going to get it loosened up a little bit. Then we will flip to the top side. We'll drain some fluids and get ready to make it so that the K-member will come out and get everything from the harness unhooked, unhook the battery, and she should be ready to come out. So we're making progress. The next step, like I said, we're gonna flip up to the top here. All right, we got our bucket out of the way, pulled our mass air meter plug out there so we can get this thing off and out of the way. So let's do that next. Loosen this baby up. Get this thing out of here. Everything I watch on this seems like this isn't too bad. This is clearly a learning curve for me. I've not worked on this platform, so this is all news to me, but we're learning. It's not been too bad. The drive shaft in this thing, the two-piece drive shaft stuff's super weird compared to the old Fox body stuff that I know and am used to. So let's see, we need some more tools. I see a bolt here. I wonder if we can just release this baby. No, we'll just take it out. We'll just take the whole thing out. All right, confirmed, 10 millimeter. Get this baby out of the way. Put the cap back on that for now so we don't lose parts. Try to be methodical and kind of put fasteners and things back with things or keep them together in case we need them for later. We're going to sell parts, whatever. We want to make sure we have everything and try and make it as easy as possible. And that's pretty easy to start. Alright, one air intake and air filter system deleted. Lots more room for activities already. Let's see what we get here. I guess next thing is get this cover off and go from there. My neighbors are working. So I'm going to get this off next and we'll go from there. So we've got the cover off up here. It was just a handful of like body fasteners, the push pins. We've got the coolant fill loose. I'll take this hose off here and here so that we can get the radiator fan out. I did put the hardware back in here. We'll have to loosen these up to get that out. So that's the next step, is getting this piece out. All right, gang, so we've got the radiator mounts here for the top. What we did was we had loosened them, pulled it off. I just flipped them around backwards so they're out of our way. Threaded the bolts back in so we don't lose hardware. We're just trying not to lose hardware. We got the fill tank moved. That's out of the way. The power steering stuff we unbolted from the radiator. We're going to raise this thing up now. We have to work from underneath. We need to get the lower hose off. We need to separate the AC condenser from the radiator. So that's our next step. We're going to get this up in the air and get to those pieces. So we've got the fan shroud out of the way, unplugged out of the harness. We've gotten quite a bit of room up here at this point. I think we're at the point now where we're going to need to undo the engine harness from under the fuse box and undo the fuel lines. After that, I'll undo the battery stuff because it looks like maybe some of that's Going to also have to go with all of this. And then I will start to kind of try and evaluate as we drop things down. My plan is to take some like moving dollies with jack stands on it, lower the subframe down with the motor and transmission on that, like almost like a tripod, like three areas, one to catch the transmission, one for each side of the motor, so that we can raise the body up. And then it's on wheels. We can roll it out and out of our way so that we can maneuver and work with it a little easier. And then get the Coyote kind of flip, we'll get that off, basically put the Coyote on that way with the K-member. That way we can roll it back up underneath here to bolt it all back up. Right now we're mainly trying to get this out to get the Coyote in place. This won't be its final destination. We're doing this mainly to get things ready for our guy that's going to come help us do wiring. He wants the Coyote in place so that he can do measurements and plan layouts and those kinds of things for the fuel tech. So we need the Coyote in place to do that. So yeah, next step, we're going to get the engine harness out of the fuse box, the brake stuff, or I'm sorry, the battery disconnected, so that's all free, and disconnect these fuel lines. So that's our next steps. Okay, so we have gotten the radiator separated out. I have a little bit more to do here with the air conditioning condenser and the transmission cooler. I'm going to come back to that here in a minute. I went ahead and took this cover off. There's a nut here. You take and loosen that nut, and then you can actually separate the box here with these tabs. You flip it over. There's 3 harness plug-ins. You remove this one here. It's the engine harness. I've done that. I've removed the positive and negative for the battery, which clearly all goes into here. I will undo this ground strap here, and that should free us up there. At that point, it looks like we are down to air conditioning lines. A lot of people try and save the air conditioning system. We're not worried about that for this build. We're not going to run air conditioning on this car. The air conditioning we already knew didn't work on this car, so it's pointless to try and keep it, save it, work around it. So we're just going to get that all out of our way. At that point, we're ready to, as far as I can figure, get the shifter disconnected from the transmission, and then we should be ready to come down. I'm going to do a little bit of research to make sure I've got everything unhooked. I do know I see a ground strap right there that goes just under the cowl, so we will need to get that free. And I see the brake booster, the vacuum line there, so we need to get that free. So other than that, I think we are pretty well freed up and ready to drop this baby out the bottom. So I will not bore you guys with watching me wrench and pull on these last few things here. I'm going to get, like I said, those pieces done. I'm going to hunt down getting the shifter done. I do want to get this out of here and separated. Power steering stuff is here, by the way. I forgot to talk about that. This is, I pulled this off and separated it. We're going to go with Flaming River manual rack. So the power steering stuff, we'll take that out the bottom with the car. So no need for all that. And yeah, we're going to get back into it here. So I grabbed a light so we can see a little better under here with the GoPro. You'll see here I unbolted the cross member for the transmission. We undid the linkage there, and there's a little bracket that supports that. So we got all that free up in there, so the transmission could drop. Yes, I mangled the exhaust. I'm not going to use it, so I just wanted it cut off and get this done. So the transmission is essentially freed up. Trans lines go up through here. I'll probably have to do something with those as I let some of this down, but you'll see here the tie rod ends. They're free from the lower control arm. I've got the lower control arm bolt loose so that it will release as well, and at that point the K-member will be essentially free from the rest of the car, so we can take out the 2, 4, 6, 8 bolts and lower, let this sit on the jack stands, and that should take the motor with it. Maybe have to do something with the starter wire. I'm not sure. I pulled the harness loose. I'm sure I'll find things once I start to lower it down, but she's ready to come out. So next steps, we're going to use my contraptions and get under here and unbolt this thing and lift it up and see what we get. So next steps, the motor comes out. Okay, so we have gotten the ground off of this side of the fuse box. Wiring harness was attached a couple spots to the shock tower over here. Pulled that free. We got the battery loose. You'll notice the AC stuff is cut here. I don't know if you can see that at this angle. I'll bring you guys in here in a minute and show you a little more up close and personal, some of the up close work. But yeah, we cut the AC stuff. It didn't work already anyway. We have no intentions of running it in this car. So that's been cut and pulled out. Fuel lines are loose and removed, or not removed, but disconnected and moved off to the side. Radiator is out. Transmission cooler and AC condenser, that's out. I will not be using the transmission cooler that was in the car. I want to use an aftermarket one, probably something a little bigger and configured to how I want to configure it. So that all has been removed here. Lots of more room for activities. We're going to probably rework all of this once we get our motors in here and situated. We have the tie rod ends loose. We have the bolts for the lower control arms loose so that we can break those loose and leave the brake system in the car and basically just unbolt the subframe and drop this out. To the best of my knowledge, all that is left at this point is the two heater core hoses that are between the motor and firewall, and I cannot get to those until I lower this down a little bit. So yeah, we are, as far as I can tell, freed up. The brake booster has been, the vacuum line for it that goes to the motor, that's been pulled. Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do to try and maneuver this, since I'm here, I'm solo, so my intention is to take like moving dollies. I've seen guys use car dollies too, but basically put jack stands on it at each side of the K-member, and then one at the tail of the transmission, unbolt everything and let it set on the jacks, or the jack stands, and then raise the body up to leave the motor behind on the ground, and then it's on wheels where I can roll it and get it out of the way. Get everything situated, get the transmission off now that I'll have way more room to do things, and get the Coyote, well, get that off, and then basically do the reverse with the Coyote. I'm going to take our Team Z K-member, set it on our jack stands, lift the motor, set it down into the K-member, mount the motor mounts, roll it over, get it under the body, lower the body onto it, put the bolts in, tighten it up, raise it up. We did buy the control arm kit with our Team Z kit, so we bought a full K-member front end kit. So I will grab a different camera, I'll grab a GoPro so you can see up a little more close and personal, and I'll walk you guys through so you can see here up front. Alright guys, like I promised, I wanted to give you a little more up close and personal look. I apologize if this light's making this difficult. You can see here, like I said, we pulled the ground off of this side. We had to loosen this bolt to get this out of the back. Let's see, what else? Like I said, ground out, this out. That allowed us to take this out. You'll see AC condenser lines are just propped up here. Power steering, we're going to a manual rack, so the power steering is all set up here. I'll zip tie it all up so it's out of the way when I pull this out. You can see back here, again, I think this light's maybe making this harder. You can see in the back there, we got the brake booster loose, the harness off of the shock tower, batteries free. We'll have to get the heater core lines out, so fuel lines setting over there out of the way. All right guys, we have the steering shaft loose, the nuts out of it, it's ready to come out. We fought the ball joints. The one side was pretty seized up. We've got it out. We are, as far as I can tell, ready to come out. So we have some carts with jack stands on there. We've already loosened the bolts for the K-member or subframe for it to come out. So the next thing we're gonna do is lower it down, align everything, pull the bolts all the way out, and then we'll start to raise the body up and we'll see what separates. I know we have 2 heater hoses at the back of the motor that go into the firewall that we're gonna have to pull loose. Other than that, I think we are ready to go. So next steps, we are gonna get this lined up and pulled out. Right there. Yep. I'd go further apart though, I think, right now? Like out here more maybe? What do you think?
Right here.
I
mean, got a groove. Keep it
biggest thing is balance, right? I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, throw up front.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. I mean, right there. Yeah, I mean, Adam wants to raise his jack up some though, for sure, get even with yours. We'll lower the car down to it.
I'm good down over here.
Yeah, one click, right? I think he's about right there, right?
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think we're good. All right. Okay, are you okay with it being cooperative?
I don't care. We just gotta roll them. That's all I care. We get it out and we're all safe. So next thing will be to lower it down so it's all resting on the jack stands.
Yes.
Right? So come out from underneath there, Bobby. If you're happy with the alignment, I'm happy with the alignment. Everybody's out from under there. Adam, you're out?
Yes.
All right, so we decided to take the transmission cross member off to make this a little more stable. I'm thankful my friends Adam and Bobby are here. They've been a huge help. Without these guys, I would not have been able to get this thing out, so I appreciate you guys. All right, you said go down, sir?
Ready.
Down? All right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So now we are ready to
Yeah.
loosen it up. Let Adam do it. I think we're pretty close though. Here, you need light? What, you want me to do it? What do you want me? I mean, I don't want you to. You guys did something crazy. There. All right, we have all the K-member loose. We're gonna try and raise this thing up and see what we've got. Like I said, I know we have 2 hoses. We may have to finagle. The ball joints are loose. We have to pry those down. So we're gonna kind of work this out. So we'll let you guys kind of hang off up to the side and see what we're doing here. Are you ready, Bobby, to go? You good? You did here.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Oh. Abra could disappear. That's it, it's locked. All right, guys, it's out. Transmission, motor, it's out. We gotta roll this thing out of the way, which may be its own feat. I'm gonna probably grab the engine hoist as well to help balance the front, so we have a couple of different angles of attack. But I think we're gonna close it out there. I appreciate Bobby and Adam both for their help. We appreciate both of these guys. Without their help, I don't know that I would have been able to do this by myself. They were instrumental in getting this thing out. I'm gonna have them help me slide this off to the side here off camera. And next time you see us, we'll be degreasing this thing and getting ready to put the Coyote back up in there for us to start measuring the wiring for the fuel tech system. So that being said, guys, we appreciate you watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you check out our website, www.torquepp.com. Merch purchases surely help us out, and that's how we're able to bring and do these things to you guys. Make sure you're good to each other, and thanks for watching.